Hi James, thank you very much indeed for doing this afternoon, and hello everyone. I can scarcely believe now that we're at the beginning of December already. Where has the time gone? After a breathless and exciting summer off the pitch, which enabled the beautiful old lady that is the VBS Community Stadium here at Gander Green Lane to be able to stage EFL fixtures for the first time in Sutton United's proud history. We've had an equally breathless and exciting on-pitch performance by our fabulous set of players and management team, which has guided Sutton United to 6th place in the EFL in the first 19 league games of the season, plus, after last night, a place in the last 16 in the Papa John's Trophy, and of course Saturday's eagerly awaited FA Cup second round tie. Just terrific effort from everybody involved, just simply amazing. We've now been able to successfully host 12 first team matches down here at Gander Green Lane since the end of August. 9 victories in that, and attracting attendances of a smidge short of 3,000 per game. How far have we come? Simply terrific. There's been a lot of work take place, as everybody knows from previous updates, but I thought it was high time we gave a further update to everybody as to the next phase of development and plans down here at Gander Green Lane. The eagle-eyed amongst you will probably have recognised that in the last few weeks and months there have been a few other alterations, not necessarily of the same major scale as during the summer. Obviously there's a new crush barrier gone in over there to the Mound Terrace, new signs and wayfinding around the place, changes to the gates and fences, improved CCTV and camera coverage, and several other more minor items as well. But it's what's going to happen next to the ground that I think a lot of people asked recently at the manager's Q&A session, and I appreciate that not everyone was able to attend that evening, and I thought it'd be a good idea to give people an update now. And of course what we're carefully planning at the moment is to ensure that the next phase of capital expenditure items are married up with the income times for EFL clubs, or all football clubs. Of course, you don't get one glug of money at the start of the season. You have to plan your expenditure items over the course of a season as the income is expected, and all cash flow forecasts and budgets would determine that. And so we're no different to any other club in that regard. Sure, we've had an awful lot of spend in the summer, but now we need to move on to the next phase to bring our off-pitch performance up to the level of our fantastic on-pitch one over the course of the last few months. So what's next? Well, that careful planned schedule will take place over the coming months, and I just wanted to give you a brief update of what's going to happen over the course of the next month or so. And the first most important element is that we must ensure that Gander Green Lane is able to host 5,000 supporters with 1,000 seats by no later than the end of April. Now, we're obviously not very far away from the first part of that, but we are a little bit from the second part because of the development behind us here. The gap between the away terrace and the Tardis has been planned for some time to host an away stand. Now, without wishing to bore you too much here, we've had various iterations of this plan, and I'm delighted to be able to report that we've now finalised on it and have booked the arrival of a grandstand. We're hoping it'll be in situ in the month of January, and that will fit in this gap here, and we'll have 282 seats in it to house away supporters here at the VBS Stadium, with 718 seats in the main stand and 132 seats in the temporary stand on the corner by the corner flag over here. We'll obviously be very well satisfied in terms of the number of seats that we're having down here at the lane. And that temporary stand is planned to remain in place for the foreseeable future, probably certainly into next season as well. But that isn't the only element of the change that will take place down here at this end of the ground, because we obviously want to have it as part of an additional phase development going forward. So there are 2 other changes that will hopefully take place contemporaneously with the new stand going in place, and one of those is in the good old Tardis Terrace that we call it over there, on the just to the right of the blue cabins. Currently that houses 207 supporters, and we're going to just remodel it over the course of the next few weeks and into January in actual fact, so that there will be an additional 127 places available in there, which will have the additional benefit, we hope, this is the plan anyway, to have a segregation fence to the left of the cabin as well as to the left of the main grandstand. This will have the dual purpose of us being able to use that terrace for home fans, as is now, and in exceptional circumstances also away supporters where demand requires, or if other development works are taking place that dictate that that is necessary. So that's something that's happening at the same time. We hope that we've commissioned that work out at the moment, and hopefully we'll have further news on that soon. And at the same time, we're also looking to introduce some steps, treads in front of the main stand, as we're looking at it from here on the left hand side of the tunnel, which will further increase the capacity of that particular area for home standing supporters. Now the reason why we want to do all that in one go is because at the same time as the new away stand going in place hopefully in the month of January, we are going to extend the away terraced area here back. One of the issues that caused a delay in the first instance is actually the sight lines that were caused by the new construction. So we're going to kill two birds with one stone and have this stand behind the goal here moving back so that the roof is actually in line with the new stand in place, which will pretty much double the capacity of this standing area. At the moment our away capacity has been restricted to just 500 fans. Going forward, this end of the ground will have, yes, the 132 as is in the temporary stand. It will have, I believe it's 627 in this new area here, but that of course will not be available for use for some part of the remainder of the season whilst the rest of the constructions are taking place. The new away stand will have 282 seats in it. The Tardis Terrace over here, 327, and then we've obviously got the additional capacity over there as well. So in that period of time between now and the next few months, certainly before the end of April, it means that this current area of the ground here up to the grandstand will have a maximum of 1,400 people in it at any one time, and when this new terrace is built, nearly 1,100 people that we could accommodate in the away end, which would be a huge improvement to A, the capacity, and B, the facilities that we're able to offer our away supporters. Just one other thing, if I may, and that is the long-awaited pavilion on the far side behind the temporary grandstand over there has finally been signed off. We haven't had an actual date for when that may hopefully be in situ, but we're hoping that that will be something that will be in place certainly for the beginning of the new season. Other minor changes around the place to increase capacity you will have seen with the additional crush barriers in the Mount Terrace. One or two other cosmetic changes will take place as well in phase one, and that will enable us, certainly by no later than April and hopefully significantly earlier, for us to achieve that first end goal of having 5,000 capacity minimum. It'll be more than that with over 1,000 seats in the ground as well. That's phase one. Phase two thereafter, where we're going to have 2,000 seats and obviously more than 5,000 capacity. Well, that will involve development on the Parkside Terrace over here. More news on that one when we have it, but we're already starting to work on that programme as well. Let's move on elsewhere to the ground. And so to the main grandstand and the problems we've been having here on the far side and the Gander Green Lane end of the grandstand with the remedial works here, as you can see, to the column, which has meant that we've had to take out 55 seats and a number of others as well with disimproved sight lines. Many apologies to everybody affected by this. I know there are a number of season ticket holders in this as well, and our grateful thanks for your patience and your forbearance as we've gone through the process of putting this situation right. This again has been quite frustrating. It's something we've wanted to do a lot earlier than now. Happily, we've actually sat down with contractors just this morning and gone through hopefully a timeline and a cost. And as discussed earlier on, obviously everything needs to fit in with income streams as well, so that we're managing our expenditure items as income streams are coming into the club. Been an issue also with timing on this, to be honest, because we do need a stretch of time where the stadium isn't being used and the grandstand not being used, as well as the materials being sourced. This is a priority and continues to be so. And it's something that we're hoping to resolve very quickly over the course of the next month or so that when we get into the new year, we're back with a full grandstand here. So once again, many apologies for the inconvenience caused by not having these seats available. That's something that we're all very keen to ensure happens in the very near future. Watch out for further news on the website and on the Super News newsletter, which will give you an update on when those seats will be back in commission. Thank you. One other building that needs to be completed by absolutely no later than the very end of April is the one that was started but not finished behind us here, that I'm sure everyone will have seen on their visits to Gander Green Lane. This is the new referees' rooms, which will also house an anti-doping room and a first aid room and rest room, toilets and showers and what have you, to replace the current facility that we've got, which doesn't quite meet the criteria required. We actually have this building booked, and most of the materials are actually here on the far side of the car park, in behind the green fencing over there, and this has to be in place by no later than the end of April as well. So those referees and teams rooms will finally be up in place at the beginning of next year, removing this rather unsightly building site here at the moment, and away teams who are currently accessing their changing rooms through that door over there will have a much nicer entry into their changing room facility here at Gander Green Lane. And while we're at this end of the stadium, it's coming around the side here where an old turnstile used to be. One of the other buildings that we're looking to put in place here at this end of the car park were the teams rooms, gym and physio for the first team, a rest area for them. That's still on commission and will be hopefully in situ by the end of the season. We're also working hard at the moment in looking to improve and upgrade the training facilities. Currently the first team are training up at Northey Avenue, as you know, and we've been doing quite a lot of work up there with Sutton Grammar on the pitches, but also on the facilities up there to enable the first team to have an EFL standard facility at their disposal for the all-important training programs that they put in place to prepare us for EFL football down here at Gander Green Lane. So both of these buildings, but particularly this one here, needs to be in very imminently, and the other one will follow suit just as soon as those timelines that I was talking about earlier enable us to do, but still very much on the calendar of plans. So one of the first things that you see when you come into the car park here at Gander Green Lane on match day will be this fenced off area here and this corner of the car park, and this has been here for some time, and you'll see that there are actually some building materials in there, and I just thought I'd give everybody a brief update on what this is and why it's there. So this is the site for our academy classrooms going forwards, and that's still the plan. Again, we've had various iterations of this going forward, and we've some of the plans have had to be perforce delayed. So our academy classrooms at the moment, some of it is being hosted here and some of it is being hosted off-site until this comes to fruition. The actual materials that you see behind you here are actually part and parcel of the referees' rooms that we were talking about not that long ago. They're actually stored in here at the moment, but the actual academy classroom construction has also been ordered and booked and commissioned. It's just a question of where that sits in the list at the moment of tasks to be done and when it can be scheduled in. There's still amount of work to be done in this area. Obviously, with the old pigeon hut needs to be demolished and the area flattened before the classrooms can be put in place. We were hoping originally that this might be in situ for the Easter term, but it's quite likely that with all else that obviously also needs to be planned in around Gander Green Lane right now, that this particular area of development will be planned to be in situ by no later than the start of the new academic year, including kitting out and fitting out of the classrooms in there, so that it's the new academic year when academy students will come down here and have their lessons from a new site, and this green fence will no longer be in place. Huge kudos to Gareth Miller and his army of volunteers who have been ensuring that the Sutton United club shop is now open here 5 days a week, and some great merchandise. I can't go past this part of the car park without talking about some of the items in here as we're coming up to the Christmas period. What better place is there to fill your Christmas stockings and for you to ensure that your loved ones have their Sutton United merchandise for the Christmas period, and lots of new stuff in here as well. A veritable cornucopia of delights awaits you as you come into the club shop, and indeed for that matter online. The most recent of which is a new facility that we've just invested in for the personalisation of shirts. So if you want to have either your name, Christian name or surname, or your favourite player's name on any of the shirts, it'll have the EFL numbers and the logos and all of the appropriate fonts, and we can do that job for you at a really good price. But there's so much good stuff in here. Next time you're down here at the ground, either between 10 and 12, any weekday morning or on match day, come along in here and make sure that you fill your Christmas stockings with Sutton United goodies. Which reminds me that another great idea, of course, for a good Christmas present is just out today, the launch of our new half-season ticket offer. I've had a lot of people asking about this. This will be valid from the 1st of January and has 12 league games attached to it. So go onto the website now. It's a cracking deal if you haven't already bought your ticket. Very grateful to everybody who also mans the ticket booths here on match day. We use this one for the actual match in question. Anna was over there in the ticket collection booth for guests and comps and the like, and then we have the help point, which is rather unfortunately misnamed because that's where we actually sell all future tickets, both home and away from there on match day, as well as here from the shop during the week. So if you haven't bought a season ticket so far, take a look at the website and the deal that's currently available for half season tickets for matches in the crucial second half of this year as the U's hopefully continue their journey up the EFL League 2 table. And I also would like to wish everybody a really happy and healthy Christmas, and thank you all for your outstanding support over what's been a manic period for everyone involved with Sutton United. It's a very special football club, this, and it's got some very special people in it, and I'm very grateful to everyone's help and support over what's been a very, very busy period. But the hard work is continuing. It's going to be a really busy January, February and March as we look off the pitch to raise our standards and raise our ambitions to match those which our on-pitch fantastic set of players and management team have brought to this football club of ours. We're going in one direction and we want to make sure we continue to go in that direction, and with everyone's support and help, that's what we'll achieve together. Thank you, James, as well, and everyone at SUFCT for all your help this year. Hope you have a great Christmas too, and look forward to continuing to work together in 2022 when, as always, we will all be forever amber.